Good afternoon, Reds. Welcome to the pre-match build-up. It's Manchester United against Fulham away at Craven Cottage today. Huge question marks around the goalkeeper situation with a new one incoming in Son Lamans and Altay starting last week. Let's see who starts today, people. So we have Altay starting again in net. Altay Bayındır seems to be United's new number one, at least for the next probably 2 weeks, I'd say. Because Andre Onana has travelled with the team, but he's still not starting the game. So that's quite significant in my opinion. You also have Amad Diallo coming in for Diego Dalot, a right wing back, which I think a lot of us expected to be a bit more of an attacking game. Lenny Yoro, Matthias De Ligt, and Luke Shaw is still the back three. That is the preferred back three, which played really well against Arsenal. Patrick Dorgu in at left wing back, which will be no surprise. Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. And then still no Sesko. Benjamin Sesko starting on the bench. Brian Mbeumo, Mason Mount, and Mateus Cunha complete the kind of final three, if you want to call it that. Starting on the subs bench for Manchester United, if I can just get the subs bench up on my screen, is Onana, Dalot, Fredrickson, Heaven, Maguire, Kobbie Mainoo, Ugarte, Xerxes, and Benjamin Sesko. So some decent options off the bench, if that's what you're looking for. Right, let's go through the team one by one, just speaking specifically about the goalkeeper, lads. Dan, we've heard a lot of news over the weekend about Le Mans coming in. 17 million, 20 million. Does that excite you, given the current kind of, I don't even know what you call it, dilemma in that position?
Yeah, it's like I was like before the show we were talking about the turbulence. I think the goalkeeper situation also is like that. So, whosoever is on the goal, like I mean, when the last game, I was like any pass that Bayındır receives, I was like very scared. So I think with both the goalkeepers, the situation is kind of same. Both are making equal amount of errors. But again, then it's like a big decision to make to bring in Onana again, and that battle continues to grow. But with Le Mans coming in, I think it's very clear. Like I mean, we are putting in some efforts and bringing a new player on that position that will stabilize the ship more on the backside and maybe give more confidence and give a good competition to Onana, because that was missing last season. We need to have a good amount of competition between the goalkeepers, but that was not happening because both the goalkeepers were making mistakes, and that wasn't giving us the option to go with a proper goalkeeper with the more confidence. I think with the new goalkeeper coming in, I think that situation will be sorted to some extent. Then only the future will say how much to what extent. Because with Manchester United, always whenever you are a goalkeeper, you automatically gets that pressure already in your plate. So I think it's going to increase our confidence when we get the new goalkeeper in. But again, then the next question is who is going to go out? More probably it will be Bayındır, but let's see what happens there.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm sure Ruben Amorim's going to be asked about that before the game, after the game, and for the next 5 weeks until, well, the next 2 weeks, or weeks, sorry, Jesus, until the transfer window closes, because I think it shuts on the 2nd of September, so it'd just be less of a headache for the manager. He's already got to do enough interviews as it is. Moving into the backline, Shreyas, Lenny Yoro starting again. Absolutely no surprise. He is developing into the player that we all want, the centre-back, the modern-day centre-back. Coming up against Iwobi today, though, which is a different kind of test, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because he's not your, you could say, conventional out-and-out winger. He's more, again, those sort of wingers who know how to box out the midfield and, more of a physical sort of a winger, I would say. But again, I think the way Lenny Yoro has started this season, I think against Arsenal as well, he was very impressive. And personally, again, I think that there was no reason pretty much to change that back line. I think all of these guys, you look at Luke Shaw, you look at De Ligt, you look at Yoro, I think all of them played very, very well against Arsenal. And what Amorim has said that, he wants consistency in this team. So if you are getting a team that is able to, perform for you well, and that it can perform, on the same level for you in the upcoming matches as well, I think it's better to, stick to that sort of a backline, because in the past few years, we've struggled a lot when it comes to, centre-back combinations. So if you're getting some sort of consistency in, with that goalkeeper scenario as well, it builds that sort of chemistry alongside the players, and this is what United actually needs right now. And if these guys can perform in the same level like they did against Arsenal, then it sets the right tempo for the new season.
Yeah, the man alongside him, Dan, Matthias de Ligt, got huge praise from a lot of people in the media after his game against Arsenal. Do you think that was probably his best performance in the United shirt?
Yeah, definitely. You can see that. I mean, every areas of him as we consider the defending stats, I think that was really impressive from him. And day by day, we can see that he's improving and getting more involved and becoming kind of a more solid in the defense. And that's a big up for us as we need those kind of players who are stepping up each and every game, and that with that fighting spirit, with that, I mean, kind of the warrior kind of characteristics that is there in De Ligt. We can see that in the last game, like every area, the passing was good, the positioning was good, the decision making was good, because a lot of time we can see that our goalkeeper, the defenders make quite a mistakes and go into the ball for more early. So we can see that with De Ligt in the last game, we were more intelligent. All the defenders, especially the centre backs, they were more intelligent while to commit on the on a tackle or not, and and also that the aliveness from the defense on, the intelligence of passing and bringing the team up and keeping the ball and rotating the ball more often, because you can see that with the players now we are the way we are playing in the defense in the last game especially, we can see that our defenders are feeling more confident to keep the ball and rotate the ball at the back itself, which was not clear. Which was kind of again the same word, the scary was the situation was scary when we used to keep on passing at the back and in the last year. But now I think the players feel more confidence and they know that which position the other players are going, so that just keeps the build up of that attack from the defense itself. With De Ligt, I think with the very young, he has already proved in the previous leagues and already in the previous clubs that he has been a warrior from his young age. We can see that potential there. But at this point, we should be very happy to have him, and we can at least get 4 to 5 years out of him. So that's a big plus for us to have a player with that kind of an potential.
Yeah, you think given his experience at the minute, the captain in Ajax, playing alongside Bonucci and Chiellini at Juventus, playing at Bayern Munich, and now playing at United, and he's only 24, is just fucking mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. To complete that centre-back kind of partnership, or three-way centre-back, whatever you want to call it, is Luke Shaw, Shreyas, but the huge question is on him. Can you start putting trust in him now he's starting consistent games, or do you still think he's going to end up being on the sidelines for about 6 weeks?
It is still, right? Yeah, it's still too early to call it. It's just been one game. I think it is very difficult and very dangerous to bank on him to give you an entire 38-game season. I think the first step would, should be, can Luke Shaw start 10 games in a row for you, week in and week out? I think that's the first step, because if he's able to get you like 10 to 11 consecutive games, that's when you could probably feel okay, he can still maintain his fitness levels to at least give us at least 25 to 27 games a season. That is the first step. If he goes beyond it, that's a different equation altogether. But I think it is still slow steps with Luke Shaw, because we've seen it on a lot of occasions. He comes in, he has great games when he is fit, like 5 to 6 great games. 7th game picks up an injury and then he's out for the next 15. So you need to be careful with him. But again, was very impressed by his play against Arsenal, and I hope he can stay fit, because again, when he is fit, he is one of our better players in the team. So hopefully he stays fit. But besides that, I think it is still too early to call it as to how much we can bank on Luke Shaw for this season.
Yeah, random guy saying I'm happy with the lineup completely. Amorim wants consistency, so why not play the same lineup, excluding Ahmad? Afternoon, guys. Hope we win. That's from My Damned United. Hope everyone's good. Everyone's saying hello. Why punish Mount? I think he is rewarding good performances. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Random Yap saying they hooked Belieber earlier. Yeah, did you see that, by the way?
Yeah.
They just took Belieber off. Didn't have an injury or anything in the Brighton game. Just hooked him off. So, yeah, I don't know what that says, but interesting. Let's see what another uninterrupted week of coaching brings. Hopefully it brings 3 points. Shesko to score a brace today. That's from Amy Rourke. And 100% visual progress is very important, gives us fresh hope, but points on the board is a must. Yeah, points on the board is a must, Dan. He's gone slightly more attacking, going with Amad Diallo at wing back. Was you surprised to see him on the bench against Arsenal and Diego Dalot start?
Yeah, I was. I mean, expecting. We all have seen what Ahmad can do on that position. So we all were expecting that Ahmad would start. That would give us more kind of an advantage on the attacking side. That skills, the talent he has in him. And yeah, I was expecting him to start. But yeah, I can also understand that first game against an Arsenal kind of a strong team. You would like to play more kind of a little bit on defense side to kind of nullify their attack, to be honest. I knew that if he's starting on the bench, definitely he'll have his part to play in the game, and when he came on, you can see the difference he makes. The chemistry he has already been able to establish alongside Mbomo. You can see that chemistry is too scary for the opponents, and I think this game would be the best start for him to see, because with against a Fulham, more kind of a weaker team, against weaker team, you can see that they can more gel in, and can be more the threat can be more on the right side. You can see that. But on the positive note, that I can see that Ahmad is a perfect example of a youngster who follows the manager's, the commands and the discipline he has, and he's not moaning about whenever he's on the bench or he's not being played on. So I think that's a good example for other players to also follow in terms of Ahmad, because you know that the talent in Ahmad is there a lot. The potential is very high, and when you have these kind of potential, you can have a head weight. But with Ahmad, it's totally different, and that's a big plus for us. And he has already said that in the kind of short interviews before that, he's open to what the coach wants him to do. So I think that's a very key for us. And with Ahmad in this, we can see a lot of involvement of him on the attack side. We can see that a lot of attacks coming in from the right hand side today.
Yeah, the midfield is going to be an important makeup in this game as well, Shreyas. You got Casemiro and Bruno starting again, which seems to be the partnership that he's going for, which actually looked okay given how much we were all moaning over the summer. But the main point is, and again, Amarin touched on this in his kind of press conference, he looks a lot fitter than Casemiro in terms of keeping up. I'm not saying he's fucking Speedy Gonzalez again in the middle of the park, but just there was comparisons obviously from a year under Ten Hag where he looked really bulky, and now he looks like he's gone really lean. Doesn't seem to be struggling as much, which goes to show that the time that he's actually worked with him, it seems to be working to a certain level. We don't know yet. It's still a bit of an unknown in that regard.
Yeah, it is. But again, with Casemiro, you have to give it to the guy as well, because he's, you could say, fought his way back into this team, and still you can say there are traits and there are certain things in Casemiro's playstyle that are not in any of our midfielders. If you look at the way he's able to scan for danger, if you look at the way he's able to still make those diagonal passes, spray the ball out wide, you don't really have that in any of our other midfielders. And the only thing again is, like we've also seen it a lot of times, is he doesn't have the legs for sure when it comes to covering a lot of area, but positional awareness wise he's still got it. So Amorim has tweaked it a bit as well to accommodate Casemiro in the system. And for me, the way he was deployed alongside Bruno in that Arsenal game, he made life tough for Declan Rice, for Odegaard, and even for Zubimendi. And this was one of the things that we were concerned about, that Zubimendi and Declan Rice might be a little bit too much for Casemiro to handle in that midfield, but he nullified all of those midfield threats for the entire 90, and he looked quite good. So again, it's not the long-term approach to go for when you look at Casemiro, but at least for this season, you have to see it again for like 5 to 6 games at least. But it is still good to see that you've got at least a duo which can coast you through the season, because Ugarte definitely cannot do that job. I think Casemiro does a much better job than Ugarte does in this midfield, and there are still question marks over Kobbie Mainoo. So at least till the time the other two guys adapt, you've got someone who can carry the pressure of this midfield on their back.
100%. Whilst we're on the topic of midfield, we might as well speak about these Saudi Arabia rumours of Bruno Fernandes again. I can't remember what team it is. It's the one with the yellow. Yeah, the only thing I remember from the team is that it's like a number 1 in it. This yellow. That's like
Benzema's team.
Al Ittihad, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we put it. Al Ittihad. in for Bruno. Now, there's not been any big journalists like your David Ornsteins of the world or Romanos or anyone like that kind of reporting it from at least from what I've seen. But there is noise rumbling again. Let's say this is like a deal or no deal situation. I don't know if you've seen that show, so you might not get the reference. But in the UK, we have a thing where people... Have you seen Deal or No Deal before, any of you two?
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so... we had the deal on the table at the start of June, didn't we? With the Al Hilal. Thank you very much, Shreyas, our Saudi correspondent. Al Hilal. We had our deal with them. We said no, and then after it was kind of like, should we have took it? A lot of United fans are like, you look at that midfield, maybe not. With that new revised offer now, if it is 100 million again, Dan, do you still say no?
Man, that's a very tricky question. Because when I saw the news, there was something in my mind, like at the corner, like, why can't we go for this and get a proper midfielder who just sets in that mid pivot of two? Because personally, I feel like Bruno, I feel it hard to understand or accept that Bruno can fit in that position in the midfield. So that's where I think, why can't we go for this deal and get a proper player who can just fit in there? So if you can imagine, it's like the condition is like if you want to replace Bruno with Baleba. So I think that will fit in very well in that kind of setup. So because I'm not kind of demotivating Bruno Fernandes, but because I know personally for Bruno, in my thoughts, Bruno is a proper 10 role person. Kind of who can play a 10 role very well. But in this team, when we already have so many players and you definitely have no other players to chuck in Bruno, and you have to just kind of shoehorn him into the midfield. So you can try him playing in that position, but to what extent it is more reliable to play on a regular basis and become consistent is just still a concern for me. But yeah, if you ask me, kind of 51-49 towards selling Bruno. But I can be hated for saying that.
Shreyas, same question. I know you're quite firm with your stance on Bruno Fernandes. So is it the same answer again?
Yep, absolutely not.
Okay, not a problem at all. We can swiftly move on from that situation.
What would you do, Nick?
That's what I was waiting for. I knew he was going to ask me that. I don't know, because the way they started the season, it didn't look bad in midfield. But then you take the risk again of it being overrun. If something seems a little bit off in a few weeks' time, there's nothing you can do about it because the window's shut and it's gone. But I love Bruno. I would keep him maybe one more year, and I think that offer will come in again from Saudi. I think they'll want him. And when it does then, next season, you ask me, I'm saying, yeah, take him, most likely.
The thing is, for me, is like when you play Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, that thing you can maybe kind of think that looks a little more solid, because you know that Casemiro can single-handedly handle that area to some extent. But then again, the problem is you cannot play Casemiro the whole 90 minutes. And after 60 minutes, you have to bring in someone, and you don't have the replacement for Casemiro at this point. Maybe if we can get some kind of a strong, proper DM, then I'm okay with that, having Bruno in that setup.
To be fair, though, we have got a talent in Kobbie Mainoo off the bench who's all right himself, you know what I mean? And in a game, you think about a game like today, where United, I would imagine, are probably going to have the majority of the ball. I think Fulham are going to try and make it as difficult as possible to break through the lines. Having someone like Kobbie coming on maybe in the 60th might not be the worst thing in the world to kind of, dictate that game. So I think he'll get some minutes today. He didn't come on, did he, against Arsenal? It was Ugarte who they brought on, which was very interesting in itself. But we
remember it quite vividly, that Ugarte came on.
Yeah, we all do. When Ugarte comes on, we all know when he's on, because he either gives the ball away or he gets fucking pushed over. But he's not starting today. He's on the bench. So we'll see what happens when he gets to the 60th, 65th minute, which seems to be the golden minute, done it with Amorim, when he wants to bring on substitutions. Now, left wing back, we all knew Patrick Dorgu was going to start. It's not like a secret at all. He's like the only left-footed wing back that we've got, which begs the question, lads, who's the alternative there?
The alternative there is Dalot or Mazraoui.
Yeah, Mazraoui, who's... I don't know what's going on with Mazraoui at the minute. It seems to be out for a while, for a good few weeks. I need to look into that situation. And then you've got fucking Dalot, who everyone hates at left wing back. At right wing back, I can put up with him. I don't mind it. Left wing back, not a huge fan
But
Not really,
there
not a huge
is
fan.
there is another player who comes in for Dorgu there.
Diego
Diego
Leon.
Leon.
The tank.
Diego Leon, of course. But again, he's
Yeah.
very young. So having to rely on him is a bit... But he looked okay in pre-season. He looked okay. So he's
At
got to
least he'll
take...
push people off.
Yeah. He needs to take his opportunity if he gets it this season. If Dorgu, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but if Dorgu gets injured, that's going to be his moment to step up into the team. Then it's a big ask for a kid who's come from Paraguay to the Premier League to be playing against these big teams. So let's see what happens with that. Moving into the attack, Dan, Brian Mbeumo looked really, really good against Arsenal. And in my opinion, I still feel like he's only at 80%. Are you looking forward to watching him again?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how long it has been, we have seen this kind of a level of Mbeumo, kind of a player we have seen playing for Manchester United. I can't remember in the near future we have seen that level of player who gives so much of, who looks so much good while having the ball, and doing different things, and causing trouble to the opponents. And like it's like every time you see that he receives the ball, you know that something is going to happen, and you want all your attackers to just make a run. And with especially with Ahmad playing with them, I think today is going to be a crazy day for us to see on the right side what he's more capable of. But yeah, it's still, it brings more confidence when you hear that it's only the 80% of him what we have seen. So when it's 100%, then definitely we will see that what he is capable of doing. I definitely can see, goals contribution coming in this match from him.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get into the predictions towards the end. Don't you worry about that. Before we talk about the striker, Shreyas, I was just going to read out some comments. My damn saying Ahmad is so tenacious in winning back possession, stalks, then pounces. I remember that last season very vividly against Everton. I remember him getting a goal there. I remember it against Pauk in the Europa League as well, where he pinched a couple. He's very good at that kind of counter-pressing. Got to be a no from me on Bruno. The cash is fine, but losing such a big character in Bruno at such a crucial moment is not a good idea. And Bruno could turn out to be key in this midfield. We've not seen the proper hammering system yet. I think that's why people tend to fear Bruno starting in the midfield too. Could be right. You could be right. Benjamin Sesko on the bench again, Shreyas. Why not? Why not start him? That's the question I'm going to ask you. But why? Talk to me logically. What's he thinking in starting Mount? Oh, it could be Cunha starting there. It's very fluid, isn't it? But just talk. What's the logic in that?
I think that's the thing is this front three worked really well in the last game, and one of the biggest things was that this front three actually disrupted and caused a lot of issue in the middle of the park for Arsenal while they were trying to build the play out. And I think it's the same logic to go for against Fulham as well, because Fulham they're not as decent while playing the ball out. Yeah. And then they don't have as much of a competent keeper if you have to compare it to David Raya. I think if it wasn't for Raya, I think the result would have been a lot different. But Fulham is a completely different team, completely different backline. And I think if they make even a little bit of a mistake, you've got Mount, Cunha and Mbeumo who know how to pounce and capitalize on those sort of opportunities. Again, I think off the ball as well, these three are, when it comes to, tracking back and, maintaining that coordination while doing off the ball pressing, they're very, very good, and they're on the same page while they're doing so. I think again the thing is to maintain that sort of consistency, not just in the backline but also with the attack. And I think again, till the time it is working out well, there's no real need to change it. You've always got the opportunity to bring on Sesko as the game goes on, and again Sesko hasn't had a pre-season yet. He's only been having training sessions here and there, so it is going to take him time to integrate into this team. And you need to give the guy a fair shot as well, because again, you can just put him into the team. It takes him time to get to, integrate with the team, and on top of that, get to the level of the Premier League when it comes to the pace, when it comes to the intensity. You need to have him build all of that naturally rather than forcing it on him. So till the time that happens, you've still got at least a front three. With this front three, I can still see us scoring a lot of goals. It's not a situation where I think if Sesko is not there, we can't score goals.
Well, Ruben Amorim's just been speaking about this, about Benjamin Sesko, and I did have the quote up for some bizarre reason. There it is. Benjamin has been with us for 2 weeks. He's trying to understand everything. We just need to be patient a little bit, and we just want to win the match and try to help all of our players. But I think he'll probably get more minutes off the bench as well, right, Dan? You probably think he only came on, when was it, last 20 minutes against Arsenal?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think 20
give him a good
minutes.
half an hour, 40 minutes maybe, bringing him on, especially if it's like 0-0.
Yeah, I think in today's game, I think he would be the first player to be kind of brought in on the pitch because I mean I understand like to personally I would definitely have started Sesko today because you
Okay.
know that in the last game you can see that there was a big void in the D box, like when you see that the crosses are coming in, the passes
Yeah.
are coming inside that box, nobody was there to finish those passes. But when you see that when Sesko came in, you can see that all the balls are jumping in the box and
Mhm.
put in the box, and Sesko was there every time somewhere near in that box and creating
Mhm.
trouble for the opponent. So that thing I wanted to see, I mean, from the beginning itself. And this game could be kind of on a lighter end, so why not start him at the very beginning? But
I agree.
the problem with him was, I mean, not with him, but the situation was that in the last game, all the three strikers were kind of more. They were kind of and they played well in the last game. So that's the only kind of a negative side from the Sesko, who could see that if any one of the player would have been, flopped in the last game, then definitely Sesko would have been started in this game. But yeah, anyhow, because since this is he is the future of this team, so definitely I would rather see him more coming on the pitch more sooner than later.
Yeah, out of all the players we signed as well, Shreyas, we speak about Sesko, we speak about Brian and Mbumo, someone mentioned Diego Leon before, Lamon's coming in goalkeeper position, but Cunha's the most exciting, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
think he's a maverick, him, innit?
Oh, he is. And again, the thing is, I haven't felt this sort of feeling in quite some time that when a player is on the ball, it's not that, something is going to happen. You just know
Yeah.
that, he's absolutely going to pull something off. And against
Yeah.
Arsenal, there were so many, opportunities, 2 players, 3 players. He doesn't really care. He just runs through that entire defensive line. And one of the things I really like about him is it's not just that, he's relentless, but on top of being relentless, he has the quality to back it up as well. That if he's going forward, I could, honestly see that backline got tired. That
Yeah.
Arsenal backline actually got tired by the end of the game. And that is why when we bought Sesko on, it became even more difficult for them with Sesko and Ahmad and Torgu actually putting in balls for Sesko into the box.
Mhm.
It became a lot more difficult for Arsenal to keep us at bay. So, but again, I think 62 million well spent on Cunha. And this is, I think, the first time Old Trafford is actually seeing a Brazilian attacker show that sort of class.
Yeah. We've not had the best of luck with Brazilians, have we? Fred, Anthony. I mean, Fabio and Rafael were all right as twins as wing backs, but yeah, Anderson had his moments. It's kind of...
That one moment I think in the last game that was very crazy. I mean, the very highlight from Cunha on my thought was like he did one kind of a bail kind of a move. I mean, he just
Yeah.
pushed the ball ahead and he just chased, and I was like, why he's doing like that? And could see within seconds he was there. So I mean, that brings that pace is there. The thought process is there, like what to capitalize on the situation, these kind of tight situations to come out, and that thing is kind of crazy for me.
He, for me, epitomizes what a United player is about.
Yeah.
When you're going through like a tick list of everything you want, Cunha fits it. The personality, the way his energy off the ball, his technical ability on it, his understanding of it, like he's really intelligent. And he's a fluid player as well who can kind of play across the front line. So I think for 60 million in today's market, I think he's an absolute bargain. I think I know that's early to say because it's been like 2 games, but you can already see what he's about. And I'm excited for the season for him. And not only that, the opposite side, you've got Mbumo that you've got to fucking worry about as well. And then Šeško when he gets going. And you think, oh, right, I've locked these 3 off. We're dealing with Šeško, Mbumo and Cunha. And then you think, oh, Bruno Fernandes is just fucking behind him. Ahmad on the wing back. Like, if it gets going and really starts clicking, a lot of goals I'm talking about. It has to get clicking.
Now suddenly you can see that from the last season to this season, like suddenly you can see that when last season only Bruno was kind of the main target person.
Yeah.
Now you can see that you have the options in Cunha, Sesko, and Mbumo. So I think Ahmad, all these things, it's kind of you can. Yeah,
I was going to say I think that's why the midfield works a little bit better though.
Yeah,
because there isn't a heavy reliance on Bruno when he gets to 70th minute.
Exactly.
I know. Obviously Arsenal won 1-0 last week, but there isn't heavy reliance on him to go. Shit, I've got to do something. Right, I'll bomb forward. I'll leave a gap. I'll go do this, and I'll get over this side. I'll press for him. I'll do that. Like, you go, no. You can be a bit more reserved. You stay back. Do your job where you're at. Cunha and Mbumo, Sesko, Mount, they'll sort that. Don't worry about it. So it's almost like the weight of responsibility is off his head a little bit, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if anyone's going to carry on there, but I'll go to the chat and we'll continue in a second. In my opinion, Ahmad is a better defender than Dalot. Ahmad sticks much closer to attackers and actually stretches for the ball. Only reason to play Dalot is his height. Interesting. Bruno, if you're playing Dalot just for his height as a coach, that would worry me. Because in which case, I mean, there's probably a 6'4"
That height
goalkeeper on the bench.
doesn't help at all.
No.
I mean, it doesn't see the back post, so it's no use.
Bruno it's like a tree with no leaves in it. It's just fucking pointless. Bruno could turn out to be key in this midfield. We've not seen the proper Amrin system yet. I think that's why people tend to fear Bruno starting in the midfield too. Oh, sorry, I read that out. I think Amrin may also just be very mindful of burning Sesko, particularly with him being our only true 9. A gradual introduction to the EPL level is wise, as Shreyas covered. And Ashish is saying, talk about Delit. If you want to hear us talk about Delit, go to the start of the video and we speak about him for a good 5 minutes there, probably, in the Arsenal game. Yeah. Anyway, how do you see this game playing out tactically, lads? Do you expect us to have high possession, creating a lot of chances, maybe Fulham working on the transition? Is that what we think?
Beat them down.
Yeah. Do you both think this is going to be a battering?
I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe the scoreline doesn't reflect it.
Yeah.
But
right, okay.
but I think it's
The
going to
stats
be
at the end, the XG and the shots.
Like we'll
Exactly.
create a lot of chances, but I mean the finishing still not sure like how much we are going to.
Fulham was quite poor, weren't the Shreyas on the opening day against Brighton? We discussed that kind of extensively. Didn't look great,
because the thing was Brighton didn't look as great either, but even though they didn't look great, Fulham still looked a lot more poor.
Yeah.
So I think going off from what I saw against Arsenal, this is the biggest test for United right now. Can they back it up? That sort of a performance against a side like Fulham? Because if they do that, I will be a whole lot more optimistic about this season as a whole.
There's a small cloud in my head though, just doubt. There's a cloud of doubt in my head that thinks.
You remember the game we had against City last year when we beat them 2-1?
Who's that? Sorry.
The last season when we played City at their home ground and we beat them 2-1, Ahmad scored the winner.
Yeah.
And all of us were going, if we can do this against City. And the next game, I think, was against Palace or something, and they absolutely
the rest of December was just horrific after that. It was awful. We got beat by Wolves, we got beat by Newcastle, we got beat by Nottingham Forest.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, it just weren't great. And then we travelled to Anfield in January, and then we drew, and everyone was like, what the fuck's going on? And then we went and lost another 5 games. So forgive us for having any cloud of doubts, but there's a reason why it's there, because we are, hurt from the last season. Is there anyone who worries you on Fulham's team, though, Dan? You know, when you play them, because they don't really have a star man, do they?
Not right now.
Not I mean, not necessarily, but they still have that mid range of players. I mean, who can be effective at some point. Like they have Iwobi and Sessegnon, and I think that new guy in their team, I think the young one, I think he has been looking great. So I think they can cause trouble to us, but I mean, again, our defenders have to put in the same performance as last match.
Yeah, 100%. We mentioned in the preview as well, didn't we, Shreyas? Muniz off the bench has been a problem for opposition teams. Scored 7 in the last 10 off the bench, I think. I'm not sure if he's starting, actually. I'll get into Fulham in a minute. He's starting. Okay.
He's starting.
Well, he can't do that, then that's probably a good thing. Is Harry Wilson starting as well?
No, he's not.
No, so he's one. Maybe you could watch off the bench. He's capable of doing something.
And that oily Traore.
The oily Traore, yes, indeed. I don't know if Traore is still there, actually. Let me get Fulham's team.
He's in the bench.
Is he?
He's on the
bench.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the bench. Smith Rowe is on the bench as well.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. They've not got a bad bench then, to be fair. To bring
Traore needs some time to put oil on his body. So
yeah, of course. Just roll around in the back in like a paddling pool full of oil. We get it. Leno, Tete, Anderson, Bassett, Castagno, Burge, Lukic, Sessegnon, King, Iwobi, and Muniz. That King looks all right for him as well. I've seen bits of him. Clips.
Yeah.
He looks half decent.
I think he's 18 or 16, 17.
Yeah, 18.
Is Robinson injured? Why is he on the bench?
Yeah, Robinson is injured.
I don't know why he's on the bench. He's been their best player, or was their best player last season. His performance against Liverpool last year, and mate, he looked really, really good. So very surprised to see him on the bench. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, right. Let me read out some stats for you. I read a couple of these out in the preview, but The stats, so who cares? Fulham have won just one of their last 19 Premier League games against Manchester United, drew 3 and lost 15. Man United have won each of their last 8 Premier League away games against Fulham. They've never won 9 in a row against an opponent in the league history. The last 4 Premier League meetings between Fulham and United have seen a winning goal scored in the 78th minute or later, with all 6 goals in games between the teams in the last 2 seasons coming in the second half. Ruben Amorim has suffered 15 Premier League defeats in just 28 games as Man United manager, won 7, drew 6, with Spurs the only current side who have lost more games than the Red Devils since Amorim's first game in charge. So a mixed bag of stats and quotes there. For anyone who was asking about the other results in the Premier League, Palace drew 1-1 with Forest, which everyone knew, every man and his dog knew was going to happen. Everyone in my group chat with Super 6 all put 1-1 Palace Forest. That is just a guaranteed 1-1. Yeah. Everton at the new stadium beat Brighton 2-0. Jordan Pickford saved the penalty towards the end as well, so anyone who's asking about that. And yeah, City and Spurs as well yesterday. Was it yesterday when they played at 12 o'clock?
Yeah.
Spurs, I tell you what, Spurs look all right, mate. This Premier League season is going to be very, very interesting. Good. Yeah, Palhinha looks very good. Mate, Kudus looks fucking really good for Spurs as well. So, yeah, a couple of quotes from the manager on Bayern Day. He said that's the kind of decision a manager has to make. Try to analyse the game and field the best players to win the game. That's what I did. We know how difficult it is every game in the Premier League, especially away, but we have our away fans with us. We want to do the same good things that we did last weekend, but we need also to show more urgency to score goals even more. We tried several times, so we tried to work on everything during the weekend. We are ready for this game. And having lots of hungry players, he says it's an amazing problem. I think the problem was, for example, last season. This season is perfect because you have a lot to think. You have to imagine how the game is going to unfold and trying to imagine the best way to win the game. Thank God Rasmus Højlund is not in my team. He did say that last bit. That was just me saying that. All right, 4 things to keep an eye on in this game, lads. Talk to me. Who wants to go first?
Set pieces. Okay. Mason Mount. Punya to score an assist, and Casemiro to get a yellow.
Yeah. Dan?
I'll go with, look out for Iwobi and Sesko. I can see he will score a goal tonight. And Ahmad will be kind of a star performer today. And 1 header goal.
1 headed goal?
Yeah.
Do you want to be bold and say who's going to score the header? Sheshko?
Yeah.
Benjamin
Sheshko. From defenders of United.
Okay. Right, you ready for bold? I'm going to give you bold right now.
Yeah.
Man United to beat Fulham 3-0.
Yes.
And Mbumo to score or assist. Burge, yellow card for Fulham. Sander Turd, sorry. I pronounced his name wrong.
Yeah.
And Sesko to have a shot on target. Or hit the post, I'll say. That's what I'll go with. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we having that? Happy.
Yeah.
Let me just see if there's any other little bits just before we head off, because the game obviously kicks off in about 15 minutes' time. United are warming up with Mateus Cunha as a striker, apparently. But again, that doesn't really matter. I mean, it can be fluid. He's going to drift out wide. It really, really doesn't matter. You know when you do them kind of reports, I just instantly think, like, do you ever watch United, the front three? They're all like that, mate. Like, just fucking, like, do you know what I'm saying? Fucking hell. Like, he's starting up top, is he? Yeah, okay. Anyway, Robinson's actually recovering from an injury. That's from Random Guy. And Somati says that I can't read that. Is that Indian?
Yeah.
Should I read it out? Should I try and read it out?
No need.
Hold on. No, don't read it out.
No need.
But can I try pronounce it? Because I really want to.
Sure, go ahead.
1 second. Isahai Kaya? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it says, is it? Something like, is it?
Yeah, it's like a question. Is that so?
Is that so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what that translates to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, I can see your point now. On that bombshell, I'm going to leave it at that. Appreciate everyone tuning in for the starting 11. Obviously, there's always a pre-match build-up that we do for 45 minutes before the actual game kicks off. So we give you guys around 15 minutes time to go watch the rest of the coverage and watch the game as well. I am probably going to be able to catch the first half of this game, and then I'm heading off to work. So in terms of the post-match review, I need to figure it out with Sam and see what's going on, if he's going to do it or if we could do it a little bit later on. But regardless, whichever way it goes, there will be a post-match review. I'm just not sure what time it is yet, so please do come and join us for that. If you would be as kind to leave a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel. We're pushing towards 30,000 subs now. That's the next milestone. And yeah, subs are shooting up at the minute. So again, appreciate y'all. Drop us a follow on socials. Pushing towards 10k on Instagram, 30k on TikTok, and still on 2k on. Follow us on X as well, man. Like the Twitter follow has just been 2,000 for like fucking 2 years. Drop us a follow. Any news updates, transfer updates, mate, head over there. Drop us a follow. Be supportive. Appreciate you all. Thank you to Dan and Shreyas for joining us. Let's hope we put in a good performance and win, lads, because I can't be fucking bothered coming on after a game
Get some points.
and saying, I can't believe we lost, inconsistent, same
win
old. Have to win it. Absolutely must win. Appreciate you all. See you in the next